podcast. Thank you all for listening. My name is Bishan. On the other side of the world, I got my brother, Harry.
I'm not that far. Only 3-hour difference. I mean, it's difficult.
It's about a 5-hour flight, so I don't know. I mean,
It's still not that far. The
Okay.
time difference sucks.
for everybody that doesn't know, I'm in California. He's in Delaware.
Yeah. Anyways, the only thing that's difficult is like scheduling with us, but we're doing it, right? It's midday here. That's 1:46. What's it over there for you? Like 10:46?
Yeah, but also it is 5 o'clock somewhere, just so you know.
Yeah. I'm almost done with my coffee because my day is almost over.
There you go.
All right. Cool. So we have a lot to cover today. We're going to jump right in. We are not going to waste any time. We're going to start with the draft. Shadour Sanders.
Oh man,
What do you want to talk about, man? I mean, there's so much. The prank call, him dropping round after round after round. I mean, not day 1 pick, not day 2 pick, a day 3 pick.
Yeah, let's definitely start right at the top. Cam Ward was a clear-cut number 1 coming out of the U. Okay, Miami baby. So Cam Ward was going to go number 1 no matter what. There were some mock drafts out there that said Shadour would go as high as number 2. After the New York Giants at 3 passed on him, it was a free-for-all.
Mm-hmm.
It was a free fall. There was a lot of speculation of where he could go. The Browns had multiple picks. They even traded back. The Browns still don't know what's going on over there with their quarterback situation. Maybe you can elaborate on that one for me.
I mean, that's what we're here to talk about. We're going to talk about Shadour going to the Browns.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of a crazy slide because we've seen this in the past, where these, draft nuts, you and I, we'd have these little draft parties back in the day where we'd all get together and watch the draft. It was something that we could do. But this year's draft was far different, I think, than years past, because there seemed like there was something else awry with Shadour dropping this month. Everybody that I spoke to, they feel like there's some sort of collusion. The 32 NFL clubs, it's like they sent a memo out to one another and said, hey, like, pick at your own risk. I've never seen anything like it. Especially a quarterback that was a Heisman hopeful to drop that much, it's unheard of.
Yeah, I think usually what I do is I step away after probably the second day after the first round is up, and then I'm not casually watching. This time I was watching every single pick until he got drafted because I just couldn't believe that this guy's gonna drop so much, right?
Yeah.
It's like round 1 goes by, round 2 goes by, and then I'm looking at the teams like the Saints, right? Okay, they need a quarterback. They end up going and getting Tyler Shaw, right, from Louisville.
Slow. Yeah.
Sorry, slow. And then obviously the Giants before that in the first round traded up to get Jackson Dart.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then the 3rd round comes along. Then we got Jason Milroe, right, going to Seattle. I thought that was another place he could potentially go.
Definitely.
And then it's Cleveland also in the 3rd round, and they don't take him. They take Dylan Gabriel.
It's baffling. And, let's just go back to the Saints pick for just a moment. Jeff Ulbrich is the defensive coordinator of the Atlanta Falcons, former San Francisco 49ers linebacker. His son, Jax Ulbrich, 21 years old, decided to take his dad's iPad, get the information of Shadour Sanders, and crank call him, pretending to be Mickey Loomis, who is the general manager of the New Orleans Saints. It's something that's gone viral. I'm sure everybody's seen it. Phone calls.
Let's actually take a look at it. Well,
let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay. This is so cringe.
Put up the volume.
Hey, Mr. Durr. Hey, this is Mickey Loomis here, the GM of the New Orleans Saints. How you doing? This is Mickey Loomis here, GM of the Saints. How you doing? Good, how are you, man? We have, it's been a long wait, man. We're going to take you with our next pick right here, man. Hey, but you're going to have to wait a little bit longer, man. Sorry about that.
Okay, so I have something to say about that real quick. I don't know what it is with the youth today and wanting to get clicks and have that one viral video right? What did it accomplish? Everyone online, I'd say like 90% of people supported Shadour in this, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were upset that this happened. I don't know why they do this, right? This is their day that they've worked their whole lives for. Even if you don't like the guy, right, for whatever reason, I mean, this is not cool. And he released a statement. Jeff Ulbricht's son did release a statement
Yeah,
apologizing, said he connected with Shadour and he's happy that he took his call, so on and so forth. I think Shadour is the bigger person for taking that call. Now,
1,000%.
I don't really think it's genuine. You saw at the end of that call, as soon as he hung up, how they laughed, how
Yep.
they mocked. Not cool. I mean, yeah, it says a lot about this person's character. And even, I mean, to a degree, Jeff Ulbrich, I'm sorry, but this is your son, you know?
Yeah. You raised him.
So you raised him. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Yeah.
awful.
You definitely have to take into consideration, Jeff as a father. I don't really know too much about Jackson's mother, but when your kids are doing things like this, and everybody says kids will be kids, he's a 21-year-old. That's not a kid. I'm sorry. I mean, he's getting tried as an adult if this is a court of law. So there's no reason for someone to do something like this to anyone. And I am so proud of Shadour holding his own, taking a call from somebody that pretty much put you in your lowest low, at your lowest moment, one of them. And
Yeah, because you
man,
saw his reaction, right? And
it's
he,
just so raw.
it's innocent, it's so pure that he's just like, I didn't understand. Like, I felt
Yeah.
so bad, man.
It's gut wrenching, is what it
Yeah.
is. And I think very, very highly of Deion Sanders. I mean, he's one of the greatest athletes I've ever been able to witness in multiple sports. But what he's done with his kids as a father, what the heights that he's helped them, get to, but just the people that they are, how well spoken, right? It's a testament to him. He could have gone off on a tangent. He could have got his Twitter thumbs going and went after somebody. Have you seen him say anything? No,
I mean,
because
he was disappointed. You could see
yeah,
some of the clips of the
of
rounds
course.
going by. Dion.
But you're looking for a reaction when you do something like this, right? Jax, he's looking for a reaction. He wants to see what's going to happen, right? What are they going to say? Are they gonna clap back or do something? That's what you're looking for,
Yeah.
right? You're looking for a reaction, and I'm super super happy that they didn't do and play into their hand. So it is what it is. At the end of the day, it's done. Very happy for the Sanders family, for Shadour to get drafted. Cleveland is a place that isn't a breeding ground for quarterbacks, to say the least.
It's a quarterback graveyard. Let's be serious.
Yeah, I think the last one that it was halfway decent was like Bernie Kosar, which is before I was even born.
Maybe Shadour is what they need, right? I mean, they have 5
Yeah.
quarterbacks on that roster right now, and only 3 are going to make it to the actual 50.
So the one thing that I'll say that's going for Shadour here, the expectation. Okay.
Oh.
So when you're a quarterback that's drafted high, there's a lot of weight expectations on you to perform right away, for you to be the guy, because your draft slot is where you get paid, how much you get paid. That's what determines it. As a quarterback, as a defensive end, anything. So being picked in the 5th round, you're on the team right now, the 90 man. There's no guarantee you're going to make the 53 man, right? Now the 53 man roster is what we carry into the regular season. 90 is training camp and all. Brock Purdy, another guy who got drafted with no expectations, right? When you go out there and you're just playing, you're just having fun, you're just slinging the ball. I think this is one of the best things that could have happened to him. That's
Okay.
how I look at it.
Let me ask you something. Let's look at the roster right now. You got Deshaun Watson. That's their $100-200 million quarterback.
300. 344, I think it was, something like that.
Crazy. Coming off an ACL injury. I mean, he should be healthy for camp or whatever, but we'll see. You got Kenny Pickett, who's a first-round pick, former first-round pick of the Steelers. Went to the Eagles for a bit, played backup. Actually played some games last year.
For Super Bowl.
Yeah, he won a Super Bowl, technically. Yeah, that's true. You got Joe Flacco, who actually has won a Super Bowl and started a Super Bowl,
So, man.
returning to the Cleveland Browns. And
Yeah.
now you have your draft picks. You got Dylan Gabriel, who actually went ahead of Shadour. And then you have Shadour.
Yeah.
Right? So, interesting. It's going to be a very interesting competition. But I guess back to my question, 53-man roster set. Who are the quarterbacks for the Browns? Give it to me.
They may carry one of the guys on the IR. It's a possibility, right?
Hold on, IR, that means they are injured. Why would they do that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying there might be somebody that they get.
I'm asking you who's on who are the three guys? No, I'm asking you who's injured.
You have to have Watson. Watson's going to be on the team no matter what. He's their highest guaranteed quarterback, right? I think if they really want a chance to win, they're going to keep Joe Flacco because 2 years ago he was the one that led them, I think, almost into the playoffs, if not into the playoffs. And then I think Shadour. Would be the third quarterback on the depth chart going into the season. I think they'll see it in training camp. They'll see it in the preseason. I think Shadour will outplay Dylan Gabriel. That's my personal opinion. He did it in college, and I think he can do it in the pros.
You got anything to say about Kenny Pickett?
Small hands Kenny, baby. I think Kenny Pickett will probably be picked up by another team. He's got experience. He was a top pick at one point by the Pittsburgh Steelers. That was a mistake. But, I think he'll probably get picked up by another team. Injuries and other things happen, and I'm sure some of these quarterbacks will get taken off the roster.
Okay. Yeah, let's see. I would probably agree with you to a degree. Deshaun Watson probably is on the team.
Yeah.
I think Shadour is going to get the number 2, right? And Joe Flacco probably comes in at number 3. But actually, I think Flacco probably doesn't. I think they're going to roll with the 2 rookies, to be honest. I wouldn't. I mean, if one of them ends up on the practice squad, they're probably going to get picked by another team, right?
It looks like it. Quarterback's a very coveted position in the NFL, right? If not the most coveted.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I think Shadour probably gets the second slot or second. I guess he's not second on the depth chart. But I also want to mention that one of the reasons apparently teams did not pick Shadour is because they didn't know how he would handle being a backup quarterback. What do you have to say about that?
I mean, it's true, right? I was listening to a podcast the other day with Cam Newton, and I believe it was, my goodness, why am I'm blanking on his name right now? Shannon Sharp, sorry. So Shannon Sharp said, if I'm building a franchise, right, and I bring you in, I have to bring you in to start because that's who you are. You can't be a backup. There are certain quarterbacks out there that it's very difficult to turn them into backups, right? Mm-hmm. He's going to bring a lot of pressure, a lot of media, a lot of gravitas, right? There's going to be a ton of stuff going on. Another quarterback that was coming out of college that had a lot of pressure out there and things that people wanted to start right away, Tim Tebow.
Yep.
Remember, Tim Tebow coming out of college was probably considered one of the greatest college quarterbacks of all time. Picked in the first round, maybe higher than he should have, by Denver Broncos. And at that time, Kyle Orton was the quarterback. As soon as Kyle started struggling a little bit, Josh McDaniels, the coach at the time, put in Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow took him to the playoffs, man. Had one of the greatest overtime touchdowns of all time. And there just takes a moment. It's an injury. It's a bad play. It's anything to get the fans, to get the media, to get anything going. Anything can happen.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm sure the Browns, after losing several games, they're going to be calling for Shadour to get the start, and eventually he will. Right? I just
gotta mention something really quick. Okay, I just thought about this for some reason.
Yeah.
Tim Couch, top pick of the Browns. Okay, war number 2. Johnny Manziel, top pick of the Browns. War number 2. Shadour Sanders. Where's number 2?
Shadour is he was in the club. Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that. It's funny that you mentioned that. So Shadour's in the club celebrating, that night, as he should, right? As anyone should. And I had the flashbacks of Johnny Manziel, right? And it's that's all he did was party. He preferred partying.
Money Manziel.
than playing football. I mean, football was just access to him having that sort of life, and that's what he really wanted to do. I
Oh yeah.
hope, Shadur's not like that. I don't think he will be, given that, his father is Deion
Yeah.
Sanders. He has a lot to live up to.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting season. I do think Shadur will end up getting a start or two next season, and I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing I do want to discuss is the 49ers. I think one of the big pieces of news that's been
Let's go,
came
baby.
out
Let's
today.
go.
Adam Schefter reports Niners six-time Pro Bowl tight end George Kittle has signed a 4-year, $76.4 million contract extension. That includes $40 million guaranteed. I believe this would make him the highest paid tight end in the league. Am I right?
Let's go, baby. Breaking news. George Kittle, gonna be a Niner for life. Red and
31-year-old.
gold. Red and gold. Come on, man. Hey,
Yeah.
he's 31 years old, but the way that he plays the game, the way he's somewhat, inspired a whole new generation of tight ends. Tight ends growing up, you had your Tony Gonzalez, Tonio
Yep.
Gates. These guys were they were basketball players turned football players, and these guys were offensive freaks. They could catch anything you threw at them. They had great run after the catch. And that was like the tight end that you always wanted, right? Jeremy Shockey was out there. I know you remember him. So these guys were different. Now you're seeing guys like George Kittle in the league. The guys that they want to hit you. Okay.
Yeah.
They want to they all George Kittle wants to do, you can ask him, not even lying. If he can pancake you, he's gonna love it. That's it.
I think George Kittle's like the only complete tight end in the league. I don't think Travis Kelce's even up there.
No.
To be honest, Travis Kelce's great when it comes to catching the ball.
Oh yeah.
Being sort of a possession receiver, doing things in the clutch with Mahomes. George Kittle does everything. Anything you need him to do, he does it, and he does it like dominates. He dominates the field if they ask him to run a route, he runs the best route. If they ask him to block someone, he's going to pancake them, like you said.
100%.
He deserves this, every single penny of this contract he deserves.
George Kittle epitomizes the 49ers culture better than I think any other player.
Yeah.
He's one of the earliest draft picks by the 49ers, late round pick. Was it 5th round, if I'm not mistaken?
I'm not sure. No.
Yeah. I want to say it was about 5th round. Coming out of Iowa. Just this regular Joe,
Regular Joe.
And, man, he's turned into one of the greatest tight ends the 49ers have ever had.
5th round pick, 2017.
Yeah.
Yep. No, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, just stoked, excited, and just happy that someone that's done so much, not only for the position of tight end, but for that's he's got a few more years with the club. So this is great. It was nice to wake up to this news this morning. That's for sure.
Yeah. The only thing I worry about him is his injury history. He's going to miss a couple games every season.
Sure.
The 49ers right now, I don't even know who the backup tight end is. I think
they signed the kid from Jacksonville. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. But he's more of a blocking tight end. He's not a receiving tight end. So, yeah, I think at some point they're going to have to address it. They're going to, in the draft, they didn't address it this year, which we're going to get to now, but they hopefully address it next year, because their first 5 picks this year were all defensive players. First round pick, Mikael Williams, Georgia. What do you got to say about him?
Man, I watched a few of Georgia's games this year because they always play on the national stage, right? Georgia plays in a conference that is, compared to some big NFL teams, I think, beat them. You know what I mean? So Georgia's defensive line, defensive backs, everything just super, super stout.
It's a pro style, right? They were a pro style offense.
Yeah. Their coach, Kirby Smart, he used to be the defensive coordinator at Alabama prior to him taking the job at Georgia, led Georgia to a national title. He's the only coach, previous coordinator to ever beat Nick Saban. Pretty neat, right? So, yeah, Kirby Smart, he's got these guys dialed in. A lot of these players, when they're coming out, they are pro ready. Williams looks legit. His frame, I think 6'5" 3/4, just I think 240 pounds, some odd or something like that. Just the guy looks like a beast. So I'm stoked to see him on opposite Nick Bosa. I think Nick Bosa is going to be so happy to have a guy like that, especially someone that has a motor that continuously runs.
Yeah.
And you got to tell me about our second round pick here, Alfred Collins.
Well, he's gonna be right next to Bosa. He's 6'6". He is a
Jeez
monster.
Louise.
They got someone that is going to just clog. That's all he does is just clog the lane between the center and the guard. Even though
Wow.
their fifth round pick.
He's
Sorry,
he's
not their
6'6".
fifth round pick. Sorry,
He's 6'6".
he's 6'6". He's huge.
My goodness.
I'm thinking, give me Chris Jones vibes. I know I'm being a little bit
Yeah.
optimistic here, but this guy is big, and this is what they need up front. He's a run stopper, and he can get through, and the offensive line. So I'm
Yeah.
excited about him. Nick Martin, the middle linebacker. I don't know. Maybe they reached here, but this guy, like on tape, looks great. Obviously, the tape you
Sure.
see is all the positive stuff, so we don't see a
Of
lot of
course.
the negative stuff. He is
Yeah.
smaller.
Yep.
I think he's just right around 6 feet. He is smaller, but he makes up with his lack of
With his-
size. You know,
Yeah.
he's just big dude. He's wide. I mean, he's big. He's strong, right? Physical.
One really good thing, just jumping back to Collins for a second, for those of you guys that aren't really too into the NFL or don't watch it on a regular basis, having a defensive lineman that's on the interior that's taller is so great, especially with quarterbacks that are smaller, because when the ball's about to be released, these guys are jumping up and they're defenders on their own. If
Yeah.
he's 6'6", he could, as high as he can jump, he can knock that ball down. He won't let the quarterback look over the line. It's one of the best things you can do to have an interior defensive lineman with some height.
It's why Calais Campbell's been in the league so long. The guy's like 6'7",
God.
6'8". He's huge, right?
He is
All he
humongous.
does is bat balls down.
Another guy from the U, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Up and stout nickel cornerback. I think this guy, I mean, he did about 21 reps at 225 in the bench press. He's coming in at around 180 pounds. A little bit shorter. I think he's around like 5'10", 5'11". But I think it was McKay. Is it McShay? Is it who's the
Todd McShay?
Yeah, Todd McShay. I was reading the report. He said he loves this guy. He thinks he's probably the best nickelback in the entire draft.
Oh, wow.
We got to steal.
Okay.
So, yeah.
First round picks on paper, the first 100. Man, it looks like the 49ers are onto something here.
Yeah.
So,
even CJ West. This is the other detail they took.
He's beefy.
Yeah.
I saw some highlights of him. He's going to be plugging those holes, that's for sure.
His handle on his IG, you know what it reads? I hate quarterbacks. At least really? I'm pretty sure it's something like that. Yeah, it's this guy. I mean, so there was like he got a 49ers hat, right?
Okay.
And his head is so big that it's like a normal size, like, Niners cap that's a snapback, so you can, clearly like try and fit it
Sure.
on. Most people would fit, right? It does not fit this guy's head. It's insane. This guy is huge. He's small. He's 6 feet, so that's why he dropped in the draft, right? But they need someone that's low, right, and strong and powerful. And oh my God, man! Back to what Nick Bosa is going to be. I'm sure Nick Bosa was watching this draft. And he's sitting there, man. He's so excited.
He's probably got a huge
pumped.
Grin on his face. He's probably just like, thank you, baby Jesus.
Yeah. Then finally they started to go offense a bit. They got Jordan Watkins out of Ole Miss. They got Jordan James, the running back. Sorry, Jordan Watkins, the wide receiver out of Ole Miss. Jordan James, the running back out of Oregon. And then kind of just defense back and forth a bit.
So Jordan Watkins was the first pick on the offensive side.
Yeah.
I thought this was pretty interesting, given the fact that we've lost some weapons on the offensive side. Deebo Samuel, most notable. And, our wide receivers are a little on the unknown side, even though we did pick up Robinson from the Los Angeles Rams. He's more of a special teams kind of guy, or like a deep threat kind of guy. Watkins looks to be a guy that can make that 53 man. So that is the most interesting pick to me out of this group. Let's say from the 4th round onwards, because the top 4 picks that we have, or 5 picks, sorry, everything else after that, who stands out to you that could be a guy that impacts that 53?
That's a good question. I think it's probably going to be Jordan James.
Think
Jordan
so?
James or Marquez Sigel at the safety. One,
Okay.
Jordan James, because we run the ball a lot, right? The 49ers run the ball a lot. They rack up injuries, unfortunately. CMC, he's
Yeah.
didn't hardly played last year. I don't think he's going to play every single game next season. I hope he does, right? But yeah, that's might not be the case. And and then they have, why am I blanking on his name now? The backup, right? Isaac Garendo. Um, he also missed some time last year.
Yeah.
Jordan James, I think, is key here. He's going to play next year. I don't think the receiver Watkins is going to play much.
Okay.
That's not what Shanahan does. He doesn't like playing rookie receivers. I think
Yeah.
maybe he gets some playing time towards the end of the season. But
Okay.
yeah, I don't think he's going to play a whole lot. I mean, he's going up against Brandon Ayuk, Juwan Jennings, Jacob Cowing, Demarcus Robinson, Ricky
Yeah.
Pearsall, even Owens, Terrell Owens' son. There, he's apparently in the offseason, they've been talking a lot about him. He's coming on
Really?
strong. Yeah. So
Wow.
he
Okay.
might actually make the team this year. Yeah. So it's
So just jumping back to the running back question here for a second. What do you think is the cause for the 49ers to lose so many running backs? Do you think it's overusage, or do you think it's just their playing styles?
I think it might be the offensive line.
Okay.
They don't get any push.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, last
So
year, they couldn't run at all in the red zone.
the guys are
The
just taking a
49ers.
beating.
Yeah, 49ers were one of the worst teams in the red zone last year. They could not get a yard. Maybe Jordan James is the right person because this guy is just brute strength. He's the type of guy that you want a yard, he'll go get it even if with an offensive line or without an offensive line. And right now, given what they drafted or didn't draft, the 49ers
Yeah.
don't have an offensive line. They have
I
Brendel returning and they have McKinnis
yeah.
returning.
But one of the biggest reasons why they couldn't get some space there was because they lost Brandon Ayuk early to that injury, and he was the over-the-top guy. So once you lose your deep threat in that sense, everybody's playing in the box. They got, 8 guys in the box. They're just loading it up because they know you're going to go short or you're going to go with a run. You have to have a deep threat. You have to have somebody that's going to extend the field. They lost that last year with Brandon Ayuk's injury. CMC didn't play more than a handful of games last season either. So there was a lot of injuries that hampered.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, they definitely could not get any separation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, let's just look at the offensive line, right? They didn't draft anyone this year again. Actually, they did draft, it's a guard, but come on, let's be serious. He's not going to get too much playing time. So
Yeah.
we have Trent Williams, great. Well, the only thing that's not great is his age, right? And he might miss some games again this year. Hopefully he doesn't.
Yeah.
And then in terms of guards, you got Pooney, right? So those two positions, great.
We're
Awesome.
good.
No
Yep.
issues whatsoever.
Yep.
Now you look at the left guard position, right? So now they don't have anybody in that role. They have Ben Barch, right, who has nothing. He's pretty much been injured the last several years,
Yeah.
right? They have a couple others, Nick Zakelj, Zach Johnson, Spencer Buford's returning, who's kind of, I think, going to serve more of the swing tackle, like the person that's going to most likely be that guy that backs up McKivitz and backs up Trent Williams, right? Or pretty much anyone actually anybody on the offensive line, to be honest, apart from the center position.
Yeah.
And then you got the center position. You got Brendel returning. God, Brendel returning. Jeez, can they just get rid of this guy? Like, your offensive line is only as strong as your center.
Yeah.
And he's not strong. He's terrible. He had one of the worst ratings last year. But they got Matt Hennessy from the Falcons. I think Matt Hennessy's from the Falcons, right?
Hennessy, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. And let's see what happens, man. It'll be interesting.
I'm always curious to see these late round offensive linemen or unsigned free agents or unsigned draft picks.
Yeah.
So Connor Colby coming out of Iowa, it could be interesting. Could be interesting. He's huge. He's a big guy. Frame is 6'6". He made first team in their conference last year as well. So I think it's going to be pretty interesting to see, because the Niners do have these moments late in drafts where they get these guys that turn out to be starters. George Kittle being one of them, right?
Yeah.
And another one is Fred Warner. Fred Warner was taken in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
So there's, and then most notably as far as offensive line goes is Pooney. So Dominic Pulley, if you redrafted, there's chances that he's the first round pick last year. So
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting. So definitely, I just want to give it up to John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan. I think you guys did a phenomenal job with this draft. Only time will tell, though. But on paper, you guys just hit a home run in my eyes for sure.
Yeah, don't give them their flowers yet. Okay, cool. Let's jump in Belly. I'm just gonna share my screen because we just need to watch this together.
Oh my goodness, yes.
I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah,
I'm so worried about this man's health, his
100%.
mental well-being. Interview with but what's going on with this shirt?
Like you were treated with dignity and respect when you were let go by Robert Kraft? Yeah, well, it was a mutual decision for us to part ways. He said fired. It was a mutual decision.
The other change for Belichick is 24-year-old Jordan Hudson, his creative muse, as he writes in his book. Jordan was a constant presence during our interview.
You have Jordan right over there. Everybody in the world seems to be following this relationship. They've got an opinion about your private life. It's got nothing to do with them, but they're invested in it. How do you deal with that? Never been too worried about what everybody else thinks. Just try to do what I feel like is best for me and what's right. How did you guys meet?
I'm not talking about this.
No.
No.
It's a topic neither one of them is comfortable commenting on, though Hudson has recently posted about it on Instagram.
You joined InstaFace, as you put it. I love that. There's some great pictures of you and Jordan, where you're a fisherman and she's a mermaid. It's charming. It's a different side of you. What's the reaction been like? What's it been like to have these different sort of photos? There's another one where you're doing, I know you're not into meditation or yoga or Pilates. You're balancing Jordan on your feet. She's doing kind of the Titanic pose. Yeah, so I'm on some of those social media platforms, but I honestly don't follow them.
What he does follow isn't clicks or views, but touchdowns and, above all, wins.
You do seem like you're having a lot more fun these days than you were in other chapters of your life, let's say. I enjoy football. I enjoy the whole process of it. It's hard to win, and it's hard to beat other good coaches, good teams.
Okay, I'm just gonna stop right there because this is just
This is
okay.
different, man.
Let's bring it back. Yeah, that's I mean, some people are saying that's his handler. They're labeling her a handler. She runs everything at this point, right?
I read something earlier today.
What was that?
Actually, no, sorry. I was listening to Mason Ireland, ESPN LA 710. John Ireland, voice of the Lakers. He's like, dude, he looks like he's in a cult. Like he's just following, right?
Yeah.
That does not look like Bill Belichick. I mean, everybody out there that's been fortunate enough to watch the New England Patriots win as many Super Bowls as they have, Bill Belichick isn't that guy.
No way.
And this is far beyond anything that I ever thought I'd see in my life. But I thought it was really interesting in the beginning of the interview where the gentleman started with, the firing a mutual agreement, and I think that just kind of set the tone for the interview at that point. So,
I mean, I don't think it. I mean, you can never tell with Belichick, to be honest, regarding his tone. I think his tone literally stays the same no matter what question you ask him. Yeah, this is like this next level midlife crisis. He's not even midlife anymore. He's in later life. So this is like late life crisis. What do they talk about?
That's the truth. I mean, she's 24 years old, right?
I mean, he could have a grandchild at this age, right?
There's 49-year difference between the two.
It's insane.
Insane. He should move to LA. I mean, he should be at Laker games because most of the guys bring their nieces, right? We all know this.
Oh my God.
So I think they would fit in LA. They're in North Carolina, very conservative. One thing that I will say though, I think this is probably a good point. do you think that she goes on recruiting trips with him?
I mean, I think she goes everywhere with them, to be honest. It sounds like,
So do you think she goes into these players' homes, they're 18, 19 years old, and then tells them, hey, all the girls at the campus, they look like me. Sign me up, coach. Sign me up. Just like that. You know? Maybe it's
I don't
something like that.
know.
You
I
never
don't
know.
know.
You never know. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm interested to see? Where is she going to be on game day?
With the headset on.
Yeah. She's got to have some sort of headset on telling him whatever. But yeah, this is just one of those things, just really strange.
Just tune in, everybody. Just continue. We haven't even started the college football season yet. Once the college football season starts, there's going to be a specific camera just for her. You know, there's a Swiftie cam. You know, for Taylor Swift.
100%.
There's gonna be a Jordan cam. For Jordan.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
Oh yeah. This is going to be viral for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what is going on right now, and let's get into it. The NBA Finals, not finals. Sorry, NBA playoffs. We're not
playoffs.
Yeah, the NBA playoffs. All right, so a couple things that we can just kind of just quickly get through is the Thunder swept the Grizzlies. No surprise there. And the Cavs have swept the Heat, and it was really bad. Game 4, I don't even think they fought. But Thunder and Grizzlies, just real quick, I think we should focus more on the Thunder here since they're advancing. I just don't know, but they look really good against an 8th seed, but now they're going to go up against either the Denver Nuggets or the LA Clippers. And now we're really going to see a test, see where they're at, right? Yeah. I don't know. I think we're going to know who the Thunder are after this series, because last year they lost in the second round, and that was to a really good team. That was to the Mavs, right? They went up against some experienced players. Luka, they went up against Kyrie, right? They knew how to get it done. This year they're going to come up against the same pretty much, right? They're going to either go up against Jokic or they're going to go against the Claw.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And speaking of that matchup, oh my God, did you see that finish?
What
Nuggets
finish.
Clippers?
What a finish! That the game itself was one of the most entertaining games I got to see over the weekend.
Yeah.
But Aaron Gordon I think it was the second quarter when.
Oh yeah, it was.
Well, scuffle played out, but here we go with the last play.
Dude,
what a pass! What a pass!
That's like a movie ending right there, right? Like you just dream of a play like that at the end, and this is insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was pretty wild.
Dude, that is beyond wild.
This very, very reminiscent of the national championship when Joe Valvano's team won with the last second dunk. Very, very reminiscent of that decades ago now. But man, that was sick. It was insane. Didn't think that was going to happen. I think Jokic was trying to pass it, to be quite honest. No.
I think one thing I noticed was Jokic is great 4 quarters, right? End of the game, he shouldn't be the one taking the shot.
It's difficult when you put a big man in that kind of situation. Especially having to. I think it was almost a fadeaway, really.
Yeah.
So
his release takes longer. It's going to take longer to get the ball out, right?
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, he's the best player on the court for them, right? So you always want the ball in your best player's hands, right? You're not going to really give it up at that point either. So, man, what a finish! This series is the most exciting series I think we have going right now. So I think this thing goes 7. What do you think?
Yeah, I think this thing is most likely going 7 games. I think. Yeah, it's been really good, but I think Murray could have taken that shot. Murray's made plenty of clutch time, end of the game buckets. I think he could have did another one here, but I mean, it's Coach Jokic though. Coach Jokic is drawing up the plays at every time out towards the end. You see him out there. He's the one X's and O's. He's everything now. He is the guy.
He's just I want ball, give me ball, I make shot.
And he does. He's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it goes 7. I don't see this one ending in 6. This is going 7.
This is going 7, and we got a couple of 3-1 series out there. Woo! Exciting 3-1 series. Lakers. We're going back, baby. We're going back to LA. Let's go. Let's go.
How do you feel right now? Do you feel like
we good?
Have a chance?
We good. It's just a one game at a time, baby. One game at a time. So we just gotta win one game. That's it. It's a 1-game series right now. That's it. Win one.
How are you gonna win when you only got 4 guys playing defense?
Well, that's just the game plan. In Redick we trust, right? So you just gotta leave it all out in the court. You gotta give 110%.
What do you have to say about that? What do you have to say about Luka's defense or lack thereof?
Luka's not the greatest defender. We all know this.
He's going to go down as arguably one of the best, if not the best, offensive player in the history of the NBA, but he's also going to go down as the worst defensive player in the NBA.
I don't think he's the worst. I think there's some guys out there that don't have a frame similar to his that are way, way worse. But, they got to change it up a little bit, man.
Give me a player. Give me a name. Just don't say that. Give me a player. I need to hear it.
Trae Young. Yeah.
I'd rather have Trae Young's defense than Luka's defense. Go on, give me another one. Just say you give up. You don't have anyone.
Yeah, well, I just gave you one. So
well, you said Brant Barry. You want to go?
One.
You want to go to the past? You want to say Brant Barry was a better defender?
You said one. That's it. All right. So Lakers, you guys got to get your stuff together here. This is bad. I mean, I don't know. They've taken the lead into the fourth quarter. I think 3 out of the four games, and to lose each and every time, it is just gut wrenching. Y'all got to do something better here. They need to switch it up. They need to put, to fuel in the fire or something here, and they need to get back to Minnesota. So take care of business in LA, fly back to Minnesota, live to fight another day.
I'm not done yet. What is happening to LeBron? He's playing first quarter great, second quarter great, third quarter great, probably I'd say most of the fourth quarter to a degree. And then here comes the last couple minutes, and he's
gassed.
He's gassed? Maybe he's gassed. Yeah, I mean, he did play the entire second half of
it. 40 years old. The amount of games he's played in the postseason, if you accumulate them, he's played an extra 3 seasons in the NBA. That puts him at 43 years old. I mean, dude, you
should retire then. He should retire.
I ain't gonna say that. I mean, he's one of the greatest players of all time. He's still one of the best.
There's no denying that.
He's still one of the best players in the NBA. He's still one of the best.
Let me ask you.
Nothing you can say about that.
Okay, let me ask you. Do you continue paying him 41-year-old next year? I think he's $50 million. He's I think top 15 in salaries, right? Or do you walk away and you say, "Hey, you should just retire, or we're going to trade you"? Let's build around Luka now.
Do not dump.
You want to know why?
Greatest players. They don't do it.
You want to know why? You want to know why they're going to keep LeBron?
What?
He puts people in seats.
Of course, he sells merch.
Mm-hmm.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
But he's still got a high, a big motor. He's doing it. But look, man, there's a lot of things that they could get right. One of them was you need to change it up a little bit in the fourth quarter. You can't have the same lineup out there. You got to give these guys somewhat of a break. I ain't never seen anything like that before in my life. So going into it.
Do you know who's giving them all that smoke? Anthony Edwards. No. We're gonna talk about Ant. No, we have to talk about Ant. No, Ant deserves it. He deserves it because we're gonna show you what Ant did at the end of the last game against LeBron. I want to show it to you, and I want to look at your face while he's doing this, and I'm going to ask you a very, very important question after this. So I just get ready to answer. Here we go.
This is the end of it, okay, folks? Because this is 2 straight possessions where Ant is going up to LeBron, putting his hands in his chest, and these 2 competitors go and at one another.
Olympic teammates this past summer.
But that's the reference. LeBron's looking at the official, and the officials are letting them play. But if you
I'm going to ask you a question now.
Uh-huh.
If Ant's doing that to Kobe, what's Kobe doing? Is he looking at the official?
Oh, hell no. Hell no. Mamba. Mamba mentality.
Yeah.
Mamba.
Yeah. Do you
Mamba
know?
looking into his eyes. That's what he's
You know-
doing.
Do you know Ant?
He ain't looking at nobody else. He looking into Ant's eyes.
Exactly. Ant started that at the halfway line, right? Where he starts shoving LeBron, right?
Yeah, you know who tried that again? You know who
Kobe's
tried
gonna
that?
do that. Kobe's gonna do that as soon as he gets the ball
Yeah.
at the other end of the floor. He's gonna
You-
bring it.
You know who tried to?
Way.
You know who tried to do that to Kobe? Raja Bell. Raja Bell.
Yeah.
Raja, how many titles you got? None.
Yeah.
Settle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. He had to clothesline him because Kobe was getting past him so much. Remember that.
So there's a lot of chatter with Anthony Edwards being the face of the league after this game continued. Last season, same thing. All the analysts were saying, "Oh, he swept Durant, put him on notice, took Jokic to 7 games, beat him. This guy's the face of the league. Runs into Luka, runs into Jason Kidd, runs into a bunch of 7-footers, and he runs into his gas tank being empty. He just doesn't have it at the end. Is somebody that doesn't have a ring, should they be considered to be the face of the league?
I don't think you can say that. Just basically, you have to win in order to be a face of anything, in my opinion. I don't think I've ever seen, a face of a league that hasn't won it, at the highest level in their sport. Yeah, you can be a great player. You can be MVP year in and year out. Look at Mike Trout. Mike Trout was MVP of the AL, so many years. The guy, he's going to go down as one of the greatest players of all time. No, he's not. He's not going to go down as one of the greatest players of all time because his team sucks. The Los Angeles Angels, whatever their name is now, or of Anaheim or whatever, nobody cares because you stink. You know, when you play on teams that don't get it done in the playoffs and in the championship games, it's meaningless. Meaningless. And is a great, great player. Been to the NBA Finals before. I mean, just a beast, right?
Yeah.
Like they mentioned in that video, been on the Olympic team. But you gotta win. You gotta win. Jason Tatum has a title, has MVP. Like he
did not. Let's be real. He's been in the MVP discussion. Tatum, he has never won an MVP. He didn't win.
okay.
Eastern Conference MVP last year. He didn't win Finals MVP last year. Both those awards went to Jaylen Brown. That's a fact, right? There is a lot of so it's interesting that you mentioned that Tatum. There's a lot of talk between Tatum and Anthony Edwards, right? Most fans think Edwards probably is that guy because, he's in your face, that kind of dude. Excuse me. Tatum is not that player. He's, interestingly enough, is beginning to be. The Magic series I've been watching those games and Tatum is not having it. He's been after Pope. The last game, he was in his face, letting him know. There was this one play. I don't know what happened exactly, but Pope and him got into it. Tatum and Pope.
Yeah.
And there's a video of him. And I've never seen him angry. I've never seen an angry face unless it's like he's shooting some promo. Vane is like popping right here, like just full on throbbing, right? Like this guy's like, he's like angry as, like ready to. Well, it makes sense because his injury is wrist injury. Guess who caused that? Pope. Yeah. So, Tatum, I don't know if he's doing it on purpose or trying to get more aggressive because that's what people want out of him. I guess he doesn't want to be labeled, East Duncan or whatever, right? Or there'd be this era's Duncan.
I think one big thing that the NBA is lacking right now is a clear-cut number one guy. In years past, right, you've had players such as Michael Jordan. Done. Don't even have to question anything. That was it. Okay.
Yeah.
Then, other players came along. You had Kobe come along, towards the end of Michael's tenure.
Laker boy.
And Kobe was the best player in the league.
He was.
LeBron comes in, and there was a moment in time where he took the mantle and he was a clear-cut number one player in the league, right?
Yeah.
Right now, there is a lot of parity in the league, right? Teams are very, very closely matched. Just look at the playoff seeding. The playoff seeding went to the last day of the NBA regular season because of the parity. These players, there's not the clear-cut number one guys out there.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
I mean, and then Steph Curry. And there was a moment in time when Steph Curry took the mantle from LeBron, right?
Yeah.
And it's just part of it right now.
I mean, Steph Curry arguably has that mantle right now from LeBron.
I think so. I 100% agree with you. I 100% agree with you.
So last night the Warriors took on the Houston Rockets in Game 4.
Yeah.
And they took them out. So they're up 3-1. Jimmy Butler did return.
Yep.
He missed Game 3, but was able to return to Game 4, and he made an impact. And he made an impact right at the end of the game, got that rebound, and that was it. That's all she wrote. This game was. Did you watch it? Did you watch any of it?
I wasn't able to watch it. I was working, but I did catch. I'm sorry. I watched the second half. I was able to watch the second half, and it just, man, I think one of the things that I don't think a lot of people talk about, but they should, that crowd at Chase Center is electric. I mean, when the end of the game happened, I don't think there was a person sitting in their seats, and that place was jumping, and it was insane. I have not seen that type of atmosphere in other arenas so far this playoff run, but man, that place was crazy. They were like the sixth man on the court. They were impacting that game like crazy.
Kind of reminded you of like Laker fans, how they used to be. Now it's just a bunch of celebs going to the games because nobody can afford those tickets. Yeah, the fans just ain't there anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, you're right. The Warriors, those fans do get into it. And it was, I mean, I think this has probably been the most physical series.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Next to, obviously, out east, the Knicks and the Pistons. But this series has been really physical. And there was this back and forth between Jimmy Butler and Dylan Brooks.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. And then at the end of the game, during the post game, Jimmy Butler was asked about the interaction, and he says, I want you to, everyone here, write this down. I do not like Dylan Brooks.
Yeah. I don't know who really does,
full
to be
stop.
quite honest with you.
Yeah. There's nothing about me and him, whatever. I don't know exactly what he said, but there's clear beef there. It's interesting. Yeah, it's gonna. I think they're gonna close out. Obviously, nobody thought that they were gonna close out this quickly, but I think they're gonna go to Houston, and then, I don't think they're gonna. They're inexperienced team. They're gonna close them out. They're gonna do what they did to the Celtics a couple years back in the finals.
Experience plays a big factor, especially in the NBA. I think that's more true in the NBA than a lot of other sports.
Yeah.
It's the way that you learn how to win, the way that you know how to play, and the way that you're coached plays a big, big key in these playoff runs. The Warriors were on the outside looking in, if we're not mistaken here. They were the play-in, right?
Yeah.
And to come out to be 3-1 up on the second seed in the Western Conference, that's pretty good. That's pretty special. So they definitely got to get down to Houston, keep that energy, keep it going. Houston's going to be a tough place to play. The fans are going to come out pretty big in that one, I think. But I think just knowing that you have Steph, you have Jimmy, Draymond, the energy those three guys bring, especially the experience as well, it's very, very difficult for me to think that Houston can upset them.
Yeah, closeout games are the toughest, but when you have experience like the Warriors do, I'd imagine they probably will close out.
Yeah.
Moving on to Bucks losing to the Pacers, going down 3-1, Dame getting a season-ending ACL tear.
I think it was Achilles, wasn't it?
Wasn't it? Yeah, ACL.
It was Achilles.
But yeah, okay. I'm not a doctor. That's my wife. But but yeah, the body language of the Bucks is just I don't know what it is. It's been miserable for the last several seasons. And this Bucks team isn't as dominant as it used to be. I think they're going to blow it up in the offseason. I think Giannis is his return right now is going to bring in a ton, right? If I'm Milwaukee, I think you blow it up, right? You start fresh. You get a bunch of picks. You get some young players. You let Giannis go because Giannis wants to win. He's a winner, right? He's not going to sit around just moping unless the Bucks can go out and get another player, right? But I don't think they can because their team is just I don't know. It just looks miserable. It's just there. He wanted to go to Miami and play with Jimmy, and he might be out the whole year, right? He might even miss the whole 26-27 season, right? So,
I mean,
I'm sorry, 25-26 season. I apologize. I'm jumping here.
But unfortunately, here with Milwaukee, the last couple of years, there's been injuries when you're going into the playoffs. Like they have a really decent regular season, but as soon as the playoffs are about to start, about to get going, they always have one of these injuries that just throws everything out of whack. So it's a part of the game, though. You have to learn to adapt. But lose a game and not being at full strength, it is a bit of the Achilles heel of the Bucks right now.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, Dame didn't return to his old self, right? I mean,
no.
He wasn't ready for playoff basketball, right? His body wasn't ready for it, unfortunately.
I think the world of Damian Lillard. I think he's just a very, very special player. But since he's moved from Portland, it's just Dame time is no more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's sad to see it because it's like we talked about with, that next generation coming up. This generation that is passing right now was, in my eyes, the golden age, basketball, because there were so many great players. But it just seems like this is it now. After this, after Steph Curry, after LeBron, after Dame, after, Giannis is there. He's kind of in both sides, he was great 5 years ago. He's still great today. It's going to be interesting.
They got Jokic. They got SGA. You got Tatum. You got Brown out east.
But
you got Mitchell. I mean, you got guys. I
don't know.
Okay, let's talk about the Pacers, right? Because they're most likely going to advance here. The Pacers, something really interesting I read today, I had no idea. Guess what their record is? They played 4 games against the Cavs. Guess what their record is this year in the regular season? I know regular season is the same as the playoffs, but let's be real. It's the same players, right? They're still playing.
What are they, 3-1?
Yeah.
The 3-1?
3-1 Pacers.
Really?
Then
that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I think the Pacers, it's going to be a good series. I think it could go 7.
Yeah. Halliburton is, man, he's a pretty phenomenal player. They had a nice playoff run, I believe, last year until they ran into the buzzsaw. I believe it was the Celtics.
What was that? I didn't. You cut out there.
I was going through the tunnel. It's okay.
No. You can. No, sorry. It's okay. We can back up a few seconds. You said something about buzzsaw.
So yeah, the Pacers. They got some good things brewing there. So I think it'll be a nice matchup against the Cavs, especially knowing that you have somewhat of an edge as far as record goes in the regular season. We do say the record in the regular season doesn't matter as much, but in their eyes, they know they can beat these guys. So that's going to be very interesting to watch.
Yeah, that's true. As much as it's a physical game, it's a mental game as well. Good point.
Take me through this next series, if you would, the Knicks and Pistons, because going into this playoff matchup, both you and I thought this was going to be the most interesting one.
Yeah, Isaiah Stewart's been out. PJ Tucker's got 0 playing time, right? So, I mean, that hasn't been there, but that has not meant that this hasn't been a physical series. It has been a physical series. I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, the Knicks gutted out 2 victories on the road, right? And the last game, the last shot, Josh Hart clearly fouled Hardaway, right? Yeah. And the refs didn't call it. But I think what's going on in the league right now is the refs have been told by Adam Silver, and I'm just guessing here, to back off.
Sheer speculation.
Let the players play. And for whatever reason, pretty much every series has been much more physical because the refs are letting the players play. It's like almost a return to the 2000s, right? When things were a lot more physical. Players were in each other's faces, and it was just it's cool. This gets me excited now. I want to watch every single game.
Yeah, you don't want the best players to be fouling out, for one. You want some physicality out there. They played the whole season, bruised and battered, but you want them to be able to stay on the court and, play the full 48.
So one I'm glad you actually mentioned that, because I do want to stay on that topic. Fouling out, getting technicals.
Yeah.
2016 or 17, I can't remember the exact year. Finals, Warriors versus Cavs. I believe the Warriors were up 2-1, and Draymond received a technical or a flagrant one foul.
Yeah.
And was removed from the next game, right? So as in, like, he didn't get the chance to play in the what would be the fifth game, because, or four, was it? Yeah, fifth game, right?
Yeah.
And the Warriors were up 3-1,
Yeah.
right? And Draymond doesn't play the fifth game. They lose.
Yep.
And then they lose again. And then it's game 7, and they lose again.
Yep.
And LeBron brings a title home to Cleveland. Well, I should say Kyrie brings a title home to Cleveland, because that 3
Clutch.
game
Very
7,
clutch.
my God, I think that's one of the best shots ever taken
Yeah.
in the history of the NBA.
It has to be.
Yeah, so my point was, like, the players aren't going to get ejected now, like, because that changed the Draymond getting ejected in that game and then not playing in the next game. It changed the entire series, right?
It
The
did.
whole,
It did.
like, you take out Draymond, who is the heart and soul of the Warriors team. You don't want to be the ref that does that. I'm sorry, you don't want to be associated with that. The NBA is removing itself from that now. They're letting the players play, and we love it. As fans, we love it. That's what we want to see.
Yeah. This is it's gonna be it's very fun to watch the playoffs nowadays, more than the David Stern days. David Stern was the commissioner that wielded a big stick. By that I mean he ruled the NBA. Everything ran through him, so it's very different. So the commissioner now, he's doing a great job. He's very innovative when it comes to a lot of things. So I'm pretty sure. We're in for something really, really special here.
I mean, it's interesting that you do say that, because there's been a lot of pushback now from players that are, or I guess teams that got kicked out of the play-in that were the 8th seed, right? You play the regular season, like the Hawks did, you get the 7th or 8th seed, right? Which they did. And then they go into the play-in tournament and they lose, and now they're out of the playoffs, right? And then you got a team like Miami that goes up against the Cavs and is down 72 or at halftime, 72 to like 28 at halftime. That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
They shouldn't have been there in the first place, right? So I
Sure.
see that side of it, but
I get it.
Yeah.
But you just gotta play with the hand you're dealt, right?
Yeah.
The NBA, you're gonna lose viewers if you're not changing. You have to constantly adapt, right?
Yeah, sure.
There's very few leagues out there that haven't really changed much. Everybody's constantly trying to make things better, things greater. I heard something. I know we're kind of jumping around here, but so the NHL has a policy that if your coach challenges a play, okay, and you lose the challenge, you have to put one of your players in the penalty box for 2 minutes. I think that's pretty interesting.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna gonna run out 4 players in the NBA? Right?
No, not like that. What I would suggest is you give them 2 free throws and possession. You have to make it worthwhile. Or in the NFL, you give them a 15-yard penalty. Something, right?
Yeah.
I think it's interesting, because the challenges in all sports have become so critical. And if you lose, you lose. And it's like, oh, okay, well, we lost. You should lose something more than just your challenge, in my opinion. So I think the NHL's onto something there.
Yeah, I think rule changes. It's difficult for the NBA, but like the NFL, for example, they're starting to use more, actually, like, I guess, what is it, their cameras, and to better judge some calls that the refs are making.
Yeah, they got Sky Judge and all that.
Yeah, I think that'll be good. I think you need to do that, especially in like critical games. like
Well,
the Bills and the Chiefs last playoffs, right? I mean, but anyways, we're
Yeah.
not here to talk about that.
Let's get down to this last matchup that we didn't speak about. I'm sure you want to take the floor on this one.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Do you have anything to ask?
Celtics.
Did you want to ask me something? Because I mean, I'm here to answer anything you want me to ask. You know.
So the Magic are in a precarious position here, is what I would say. Only having one win out of 4. What do they need to do to come back here against the Celtics? What would you suggest to their coaching staff and their players?
Yeah, go to Cancun early, start planning for next year, and come back next season with a retooled bench, a couple new starters. Then maybe
Okay.
you got it. You can maybe win 2 games next year.
All right. So Orlando Magic, I know you all listen. We appreciate that. So
no, I look Wagner.
Listen to the resident.
No, I do want to say. I'll say this about the Magic. They kind of watching the games. They Boncaro. He's you know why he went first. He's clearly really good with the basketball. Like he draws fouls. He makes big shots. He makes difficult shots. Wagner kind of similar. It's a bit slower, right? They're kind of like the same player in a way. There's not too much difference between them, except athleticism, right? Pablo has more of that, or Paolo has more of that. I don't know. Like I think those two, they're great for your team, right? I would probably but they're too similar. They have like basically Celtics are their job is to shut those two down and have the rest of the team beat you, right? I mean, towards the end of the game, in Game 4, what they did was they put Peyton Pritchard on Wagner. Wagner's 6'10". Peyton Pritchard's like 6'1", right? And he's short, but he gets in front of you, right? And that's a problem for Wagner because he's slow. So if he's taking the ball out at the top of the 3, right, 3-point line, right, and he's trying to put the ball on the ground and trying to get inside, Pritchard's not giving him any space. He's going to try to take that ball. He's using his speed. He's cutting off every lane. I think the Magic are still several seasons away from competing. I think their defense is good, actually pretty good. Maybe not a couple seasons. Maybe next year they'll be the 4th or 5th seed. But yeah, I don't know. I think the Celtics are going to wrap this one up in Boston. And I am actually going to be in New York next week. And I most likely will be going to MSG for the Knicks Celtics if Game 3 and Game 4 are going to be played in MSG on the dates I'll be there. So I think they will. I think they'll probably kick things off this weekend.
Okay.
And the first 2 games will be in Boston because they had the higher seed. Next 2 games will be in New York, and yeah, it'll be cool. Got my Tatum jersey coming in, so man, I'm ready.
Okay, with that, glorious take.
Mm-hmm.
The one and only. You got any final remarks here? Anything that we haven't discussed that you want to put out there, or have the listeners chime in on X with us, or DM us on anything?
Just I don't know. Give us some feedback, right? If you find something interesting in our reels, leave a comment. I like it. That'd be great. It's always easy to like something. Repost it. I know that not everybody wants to do that, but yeah, X, Instagram, check us out on there. YouTube Shorts. We are publishing all our reels to multiple platforms.
For sure.
And just keep tuning in. I think we're about to enter the second round of the NBA playoffs. I just keep saying finals.
We're jumping to the end. All the Celtics do. We're jump right to the end.
I know, right? I mean, there's gonna be some good UFC matchups coming up here soon, and obviously there's some boxing matchups this weekend, right? Is Canelo's fighting this weekend?
Canelo's fighting this weekend. Local product Jose Ramirez is fighting Devin Haney.
No way.
Yeah, and it's actually, I believe it's an MSG, I believe, or at the Barclays, one of the two. I know it's on the East Coast. So Jose Ramirez is actually doesn't live too far from here. I've seen him, actually cross paths with him a few times. A very, very nice guy.
Yeah.
So all the best to Jose Ramirez this weekend against Devin Haney.
Ooh, Canelo's fighting in Saudi Arabia, so that's going to be an early one, right?
Canelo. Yeah, Canelo.
Man, I love Canelo. I love this. Honestly, ever since he started like actually speaking, right, and talking on his own, I like admire this dude so much more. He's got so much to give. Like he
does.
You got. I would love to get him on the podcast, man. Like that would be awesome.
man.
Like, can you imagine? Like just
He's
getting Canelo
jokes, man. He's jokes. I remember seeing like they were doing the pre-fight stuff, and
Let me find it. I think I know what you're talking about. Let me find it.
man, yeah, it was Caleb Plant. I think he's the guy that Canelo took care of, and he was sitting in the crowd at one of his pre-fights, and he was talking smack on the other fighter.
I only have the fight here. This was just a little face-off between them. I'm trying to find the
Canelo.
I'll take care of him for you or something, right?
I said, Caleb, I take care of him for you, man. I was like, oh my God. There you go, man.
Yeah.
There you go. But
yeah, he's
he's
Canelo's
jokes,
awesome, man.
Yeah.
I can't find it, but maybe we'll bring it up on the next episode. Canelo. Yeah, that's gonna be a good one. I haven't watched a good boxing match, and looking forward to seeing him.
This weekend, guys, something to watch. Definitely NBA playoffs. They're in full force. NHL playoffs are going strong right now as well. But the fights this weekend are gonna be good. Garcia's coming back as well from his suspension after he.
Was that the doping one? Was he doping?
Yeah, it was following the Devin Haney fight, which was now ruled into a contest, I believe.
Yeah.
So Haney's out there, Garcia's out there.
Garcia's so entertaining.
Canelo. It's gonna be a really good fight weekend. So tune in, guys. You will not be disappointed.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's actually gonna be a good weekend for some good sports stuff. I think we'll probably shoot the next episode Saturday, right? I hope.
Yep.
If schedules work.
Let's see what we can come up with.
Or maybe post Canelo fight because I'd love to talk about it. Right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, why is Tom Aspinall trending right now? Did they schedule it? Here we go. Tom Aspinall is now he's the longest reigning champion. Oh, nobody cares. Dude, Dana, just schedule something. Jeez. Anyways, okay, we are done, and yeah, do you wanna just...
Episode 14, guys, in the books. Thank you all for tuning in. Like, subscribe, do everything you can to keep us going. We want to get up to that 100,000 mark, right? Million, 2 million. Let's go, baby. Come on.
Yeah. Let's do it. All right, guys. See you on the weekend.